and the targeting of Indigenous people. And whereas Minnesota commemorates the lives of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives whose cases are both documented and undocumented in media and public records, and continues to support victims' families. And last one, whereas this day serves to raise continued awareness and encourages all Minnesotans to support Indigenous communities as we work to stop this epidemic and create a safer future. Now therefore, Governor Tim Walz hereby proclaims Saturday, February 14th, 2026 as Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Day of Awareness.
Thank you. Thank you. It has been amazing to have the support of our governor and lieutenant governor all these years. All right, we have several families who also are here to speak. We have our Senator Kunich, who is also here. I also want to acknowledge Chief Executive Virgil Wind and the Mille Lacs Band for coming down and for bringing their Eagle staff. And we also have the Fond du Lac flag, and I'm just so grateful for having these Eagle staffs here and these flags here to represent our people. So Chinny Gwitch for bringing those down. All right, I'm going to ask the family member of Mato Dow to come up. Oh, sorry, Kateri Michelle. Sorry about that.
This is my husband, Ira Sr., and my son, Ira Jr., which is here. I'd like to tell you a little about our daughter, Kateri Marie Michelle. She was born at Fairview Riverside Hospital here in Minneapolis on September 22nd, 1984, baptized at Holy Rosary Church, and went to grade school at St. Stephen's here in Minneapolis. She graduated from Minnesota Transition Charter School on June 10th of 2003. Her given Ojibwe name is Wabigonines, which means little flower. She loves fishing and more fishing. We went fishing at Lake of the Isles a lot, and anytime we went up north. She was on a bowling league at Stardust Bowling Alley. She's very outgoing, loves the outdoors, and makes friends easily. I always warned her, though, about being so vulnerable, especially with her only being about 100 pounds at most. She thought she was invincible. She has been missing now for more than 19 years. She was 22 years old when she went missing. We need to keep her name out there and bring her home. You would think with the reward for information that's now $10,000, you'd think that someone would come up with some answers and come forward. We are so proud of the turnout for all the marches. When it first started, there was probably no more than 50 people marching. Now, look at how we have grown. And love the support of all the people who are turning out for the march. And thanks for all of the love and support for all of our families. with the MMIR office. I'd like to honor those who contributed to making the MMIR billboards possible throughout the city. Anyway.
I'd like to call up the family and let's go down.
Good afternoon. I'm the mother of Mpls. And the past few years, I've been writing things to talk about my son. And now my kids are stepping up to have a word to say. So my daughter, Raina, wrote this. My brother, Mpls, went missing on a chilly night of October 17, 2017. Since that day, our family has lived with the pain no one should have to carry. The pain of not knowing, where he is or what happened to him. Mpls, also known as Motsky, is not just a name on a flyer. He is a son, a brother, a father, our family. He has a laugh that we still hear in our memories and a space in our hearts that can never be refilled. We miss him every single day. He should be here. Today, as we march for the missing and murdered Indigenous people, we stand for Mpls. We stand for every family searching for their loved ones. They matter, they are not forgotten. Please say his name after me. Mpls Dow. Get down, yeah. I'm so glad to be here. I'm kind of shaky. Thank you for hearing me. Down, yeah.
At this time, I'm going to ask Senator Kunish to come up and say a few words.
I'm very proud to be here once again. I am a state senator here in Minnesota and a proud descendant of the Standing Rock Nation. And I recognize that there is not one of us in this room or one of those out waiting to march or in this community that have not lost a loved one through violence. That we have missing relatives out there generationally that we just don't even know what became of them. But we carry them still in our hearts and we still remember them, and I think that's the most important thing. And just as it was said, every year this gathering gets larger and larger. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you that come forward to tell your stories, and then those that come forward to support this effort. It was about 9 years ago that I had an inspiration to create the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Task Force. And I was a new legislator. I did not know what I was doing, but I knew how important it was that we start to look and address this issue. And fortunately, organizations and Nicole and so many others came forward to create the very first task force in the nation that has been an example for other states to make this a national priority. And when we were able to create that permanent office, it was another incredibly proud moment in a legislature that has not always been, shall we say, kind to our Indigenous communities. But nonetheless, we created bipartisan support and created that office that has been doing a really incredible job. We're the groundbreakers of this effort, and every time we do something new, it just opens up the opportunity for other states to do the very same thing. And so I just want to say, Pinamia and Chimigwich, to all of those that have worked hard on that task force, and of course to the office as well. The last couple of months, actually months under siege, is not foreign to Indigenous people. What has been happening to our folks of color, our Black, our Brown, our Indigenous people these past months, the intentional actions and abductions and kidnapping and terrorism and intimidation and violence and murder is not unknown to the Indigenous people of North America. And so it was not surprising when we came together very quickly to make sure that our communities are going to be safe, that our communities have the resource that they need when our people are afraid to leave their homes to go to work, when our people are afraid to send their kids to school. So thank you to the educators in the school districts who were nimble enough to create opportunities for online learning so that our kids don't lose out on those precious lessons that we all need to learn. As I stand here, my heart is shaking, my body is shaking, because I think of those networks that have been built to support us as we go forward. Every morning I would get up and I would go to a school and I would patrol to make sure those kids were getting there safe. I know there were hundreds of thousands of people that were doing the same every morning, and they weren't folks of color. They were folks that recognized the illegal action. And so we want to say thank you to them as well, but also to all of those organizations and the grassroots organization of getting food to families, of watching for ICE, of patrolling for ICE, of creating ways for folks to move around in a way that wouldn't get them caught up in this illegal activity. And so as we are here today, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Wopi Latonka and Chimiwich and Pinigigi, for all of you that looked out for your neighbors, whether they were folks of color or not, and that we have set that precedence once again across this country of ours. And as we see this terrorism continue, let's hope that they take the lessons that we have shown here and apply them to keep their communities safe. Because our people have been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, and now we have set that example. I just want to say one last thing to thank you to those that are elected officials out here. I see school board member here. I see the mayor of St. Paul here. And if there are others, I really am sorry to first generation immigrant. I can't tell you how proud I was to serve with her in the Minnesota House, and now look where she's come. She sets an example, and our school board member sets an example of what we need to do to take back the ability to make the decisions that affect our community. And that means, and you see the hats everywhere, the red hats with the bumble, we need to get out and vote. And we need to get out and find people that will run for office that are going to make sure that we are identifying and we are working towards the betterment of our Indigenous communities. So it's not just voting that is so important, but it's also running for office, whether it's in your tribal office, your school board, your city council, your state legislature, lieutenant governor, now for federal level. If we don't have voices there, things aren't going to happen the way we want them to. So let's get out and vote, but please, November is an election year. Think about what is the office you could run for, and even if you don't win, keep running until we have our people in every level of government that is asking you, have you worked with the tribes? Have you made a commitment to ensure that the Indigenous people's voices are heard? And let's not forget the little ones. This is my granddaughter running around looking for me. But I just want to say again, thank you, Chi Wing-Wich and Kiamia.
This year's been very hard for all of us. The sadness of my son is understated. That boy could walk in the room and shift the energy. Everything about him was beautiful. His laugh, his smile, his heart. Oh, what a gift for his big bear hugs. How do you give for an argument with him? The boy was loved. Every day we try to honor him in some way. We all, it's his whole family. I know there's some in the crowd. That boy left everybody out loud, and so that is what we do to honor him. I can't talk much about the case because it's ongoing. But what I will say is, I fought for that boy when he was alive, and I'm fighting hard life and death. And it's not just about him, it's about all four that was taken from us. It's about Joey, Morel, LaRaz, and even the surviving victim. I thank everybody who has stepped forward
and did their due diligence with this case. And just continue to say everybody's name and remember that we're all we have and our voices are powerful when they're loud. Thank you.
I want to introduce you to Teddy Wind, who will be speaking on behalf of the families. Teddy.
Ani, I'm Teddy Wynn. I'm May Kinger's mother. This is my cousin, Tito, Claudia Rodriguez. This is my nephew, Joey. My nephew and my cousin were both murdered. I stand up here talking for all three of them with the permission from my aunt and my cousin. This is my aunt. This is Adeline. This is Tito's mother. This is my nephew, Joey. He was murdered in April. This is his little sister. I came up here
Adrian also has a brother that was murdered last year. His name was Roland Little. Name to be said as well.
I wrote something about Nevaeh and my cousin and my nephew. Joey's mother is my first cousin. That's Toddie's sister. But we grew up like siblings. So that's why I call Joey my nephew. And Toddie's my brother. He was the protector of our family. He still is. He will always be the protector. It's been a hard year. Give me 1 second. My apologies. It's been over 4 years since I've seen my daughter. She'll be 19 years old. She should be in college. My daughter should have graduated with her class last May. This last year, from the last time I spoke, I graduated college with an AAS degree in law enforcement. My daughter's school honored her at prom. In her graduation, she should have been at Nevaeh loved school. She loved her family and friends, anyone good or bad. She spoke her language. She practiced her traditions. I held a birthday gathering for her in memorial of her disappearance. Life has been so hard. My family has lost my nephew, Joey Goodwin, last April. My cousin has been passed away, and it's really hard. It doesn't go away. Tito, that's what they call him. This year, my childhood friend died. That same month, a great person, best friend, family member, Simone Senegals died. She She knew Nevaeh before she was even born. She didn't work to look for her with me. She picked me up and told me I need to get up. I have to do this work for her. I'm here with you. And now I'm feeling that heartache. Next month, the next month, I grieve my daughter for being gone. She's gone for 4 years. That was October. With no choice but to keep going on. October 27th, my mom died right up the road from here. No autopsy could be done. She died from cardiac arrest, even though I did a welfare check on her 2 hours before that. My brother and my family down here had to wait with her body for 6 hours until I did what I could 4 hours away to get a funeral home to come get my mom. A week later, I went to Jacob Government's retreat, and I got humbled. Patty literally reminded me every year with her wise words, don't let whoever did this to her take anything else from you. Keep living, keep feeling. December, I lost a really close friend of mine. His name is Mauricio. January, I lost a friend of mine named Susan. And in January, I lost my nephew, Melvin. But I still honored them with love, my tears, my grief. A couple days ago, my aunt passed away. I'm still here. I'm still mourning. I'm still figuring out the next chapter in life. And I allow myself to feel my feelings, and I am tired. I want my baby. I have so much to say, but my words just blow in the wind. I'm still working, I'm still searching, and I know that you got us. Look at where I'm standing. Thank you, Nevaeh, for choosing me to be your mom. I'll never give up, and I won't be smothered in my own pain. I will find you. Thank you all. Thank you.
I also want to acknowledge it is past 12, and I know that people will be gathering outside for the march, and just to let you know, one, we want to honor the relatives who are here that want to speak, and also, you know, this year is a little bit different, and we have a lot of protectors, including law enforcement, that are going to be here, and they're also a little behind. So that's why we're a little past midnight. So I ask you to be patient with us as we, make sure that we have the safety on our streets for when we're marching. So hang tight.
I want to invite Melissa Storhauken to the stage.
He has not been seen from or heard from since then. calling or knocking on the door or coming over. Time doesn't move the same when you have a loved one missing. Everything freezes. And for us, there's so many unanswered questions, just, a lot of mixed feelings about everything going on. Sometimes we feel, stuck on the last memory of hearing David's voice, or other days rush by the blur of questions and needing answers, or phone calls that we hope to get one day, or him walking through the door and for all of this to be over. The hardest part isn't just knowing that David is gone, it's not knowing the why, the where, and the what happened to him. Holidays aren't the same. David was a goofy dude. Loved life, loved everything outdoors. He loved his culture. He loved drumming, sweat. He was loved by many, and many people will remember him for who he is and the kind of heart he had. He had a very gentle soul that would give his shirt off his back to anybody who needed it. And us as the family, we're not going to rest, and we're not going to give up on David. We're going to keep looking for him. We're going to keep asking questions. We're going to keep trying to hold the police accountable to find him. And we want David not to be just another missing person or another missing person on a poster. We want everybody to know who he is. We want everybody to share his story, and we want others, to continue to share their stories of their missing loved one as well. And no matter how much time passes, our love for David will never fade, no matter what happened. And we hope and pray that one day we will get those answers, and we will find him. Until then, please just remember him and keep fighting for everybody.
Alright, our last speaker before we take up space in the streets is Chief Executive Virgil Wind from the Lax Band of Ojibwe.
Aning Wabash Indigenous Visual Dude Mrs. Agani and Punjaba. My name is Virgil Wind, and I proudly serve as Chief Executive of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. One of the things that I always like to touch on when I start or when I'm caught off guard and surprised by getting up on the stage is Ojibwe term, an Andoe Maganandug. And the way that was translated by my elder that taught that to me when I first got on stage was he said that it means all my relatives. And he went on to talk about how we're all connected. So as we look around the room, we're all connected in one way, shape, or form. And when you think about that connection, we also have to think about how we can change and what we can do to affect each other's lives, and today is a prime example of that. Right? He talked to me about how it just the passing, right? Passing somebody in the hallway, if it was a smile or a frown that you gave somebody that you were passing, you could change their day just that quickly. And he always talked about be the person that brightens somebody's day. So today, very colorful day. One of the things that another thing that I like to say is that thank you, right? Give yourselves a round of applause, please. So today, you all made a choice of all the things that we could be doing on Valentine's Day. This has become a tradition for me to come down here, but you all made a choice to come here today and to support all of our families, all of the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives that we have, and you all made a choice to come here, and that's not unseen. The families that are standing up here know that you're here to support them, and I really couldn't be prouder to be a Anishinaabe than today, to see all of us making that choice to be here today. There is a lot of heartfelt sorrow that we all feel as we hear the stories, and those hugs and that uplifting of everybody that's here. The people that came up and spoke about their relatives, think of the strength that it takes every day to carry on and to move forward. I just simply can't imagine, and none of our communities are without that. But I also want to touch base on a couple things. So hope. As we look around the room here today, we can have a lot of hope that we'll always be here for each other. Strength. Look around the room, think of all of the qualities of everybody in this room, and think that there's no problem or obstacle in the world that we can't get through together. Every one of us carries something. Resilience, beauty of our culture, the power of our drums, the collective strength that we all exhibit every day simply by existing here today. One more round of applause, please. I'd like to close with that reminder of that resilience. We will exist, we will always stand proud, and we'll continue to fight for rights that should have always existed. Thank you so much.